So heading into the Jacksonville Jaguar game, a lot of Raider Nation was focusing on the offensive line up front. And before we get into individual player performances, I just want to talk about the scheme up front. I mean, Coach Brasillo does an extremely good job of coming up with a pass protection plan. And you could just tell the skill set of these guys just fit this scheme so much better. And the pass protection looked phenomenal for what it was. Now, talking about individual player performances, I thought Alex Leatherwood did really good. He finished with a 72.2 grade overall for the night. I thought he opened up really big holes early on, especially for Josh Jacobs early in that first quarter. Pass protection, he actually looked pretty good. Coming out of his set, pretty explosive. Played with good hands, good feet. Overall, I think this was a good step for Alex Leatherwood, and I think the biggest question for Alex Leatherwood is, can he show this over a consistent period of time? So for these next few preseason games, can he put this consistent sample size out there for the Raiders on film? That's where I'm at for Alex Leatherwood. I think he has a leg up in the competition over a guy like Brandon Parker, who, let's be honest, Raider Nation, he had a horrible game, and to be completely real with you, I don't know how much more I want to see of it. Every time 75 gets on the field, and it's no shot at him as a person. I like Brandon Parker as a person. I love that he always consistently works hard. But when you get onto the football field, every time I see 75 in the lineup, I cringe a little bit, Raider Nation. And I don't want to see it anymore. I really, really don't. If Trayvon Walker is having his way, and look, Trayvon Walker might go on and have a really, really good NFL career. But for a rookie to be throwing him around like that, what happens when Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa and Carlos Dunlap, all the guys, the premier pass rushers in this division, gets a hold of them? It's not going to be good. And so I'm tired of kind of seeing it. A guy who I want to replace Brandon Parker is Jermaine Illuminor. Jermaine Illuminor had a fantastic preseason showing. Showed the ability to pull and get out in space, to be really efficient in run blocking. Played really, really good when it came to pass protection. Just played with really good technique, really good hands and feet, kept the pocket really clean. And Jermaine Illuminor is one of those guys we've talked about this offseason. He's worked with Josh McDaniels at the guard and tackle position before. He has familiarity with Coach Brasillo, and he can also kick inside. He played both left and right tackle against the Jaguars and just showed the ability to be able to hold down that spot if anything were to ever happen. So I want Jermaine Illuminor to be the Raiders' true swing tackle and just to kind of phase Brandon Parker out of that way. Maybe make him the backup left tackle for good, or you got to find something to do with him. I don't necessarily think the Raiders are just going to cut him because swing tackles can be hard to come by. But Jermaine Illuminor is that guy for me. I thought Lester Cotton played pretty well. He still has a little bit of development to go, but I like what I've seen on film. He's come a long way from the last few years. And so my hat goes off to Lester Cotton. I think he's done really, really well. I wouldn't hold Jermaine Illuminor out of that conversation to compete with him a little bit, especially when you're talking about giving your offensive line the best chance of success week one. Jermaine Illuminor and Lester Cotton should be in the conversation for that right guard spot. Andre James played phenomenal. I know everybody always wants to come for Andre James's throat, but I don't know if it's the size, it's the simplified scheme, or the switch from zone to power, but Andre James just looked like he played a lot better this game. He's your lock to be a center. Left guard John Simpson, he played really well, I thought, on film. Plays with good power. Another guy that this scheme just fits really well. Did a good job of passing off defenders. And it was just Brandon Parker at that left tackle position just could not handle it. He could not hold it down. So Colton Miller being on that left tackle spot, I think you have a pretty solidified left to center position. Now, right guard to right tackle, I think you have a good mix of some pretty good football players in there that can compete for those spots. So we'll see moving forward, Raider Nation. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good showing. Thayer Mumford did okay. Him and Brandon Parker had the worst graded. They both had Brandon Parker finished with a 57 grade, and Thayer Mumford finished with a 56 grade. In the fourth quarter, Bam Olaseni came into the game, and this is a guy moving forward who I think should get a lot more reps. He got a really small sample size and went up against limited competition. But you guys, this guy is a mammoth of a man. And the things that we talked about earlier in the offseason with Bam translated over into the field in the fourth quarter. He was able to get his hands on guys, move guys 4 to 5 yards off the line of scrimmage towards the sideline. I mean, you got to love to see it. Had a pancake block. In the limited reps, you guys, even in pass protection, he's still really raw, but his power and natural athleticism really helps him a little bit. So moving forward, I'd love to see him get third quarter reps, fourth quarter reps, and see what Bam Olaseni could do. At this point, Brandon Parker's a liability, and you got to see what you have on the roster. So, Raider Nation, let me know what you think overall about this offensive line unit up front, and what did you think? I thought Dylan Parham did okay. I think he still needs to develop, and that's completely okay. Let this kid get behind some veterans, right, and really learn the game. You don't have to start Dylan Parham immediately. I know he's a fan favorite. I know a lot of Raider Nation is high on him. He's just not ready yet. And that's okay. Let this kid develop. Let him get some reps in the next coming few preseason games, and let's see what happens. So, you guys, if you guys haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. Smash this video with a like. It helps me more than you could ever know, and we don't ask much from you guys. So if you haven't yet, check out these 2 recently uploaded videos. I think that you guys would really enjoy them. And everybody hearing the sound of my voice, man, may God bless each and every single one of you. And until next time, Raider Nation, just win, baby.